So here's the deal. You've got guys that have been throwing for a couple years, guys have been throwing 5, 6, 7 years, guys have all probably thrown in game situations and stuff, which is great. And we'll work with them and we'll give them some advice. But with yourself, where you've never thrown in a game, you've got an interest, well, absolutely, there's stuff we can work on. Don't worry about comparing yourself to others. It's all about everybody starts somewhere. And these guys have just had more years of playing the game. So for yourself, where you're just starting out, just throw what's normal, throw what you've been taught, and then from there try and work through some of the real basic stuff. Some stuff may come natural to you, and I don't want to spend a lot of time if it comes natural. But if there are things that are a little more challenging for you, then we'll work through those. And so don't worry about where everybody else is at. Just worry about throwing the ball, and we'll work from there. Gerald Muizelaar, USA men's national team pitching coach. I did a video earlier this year and had a lot of good response. And with that, drew some attention from some younger pitchers that have taken an interest in the game. So we're here in Denmark, Wisconsin at Circle Tap, starting to work with some of these guys that showed interest and just doing some follow-up work with them. Been good wide range. Some guys as young as 14 who've been pitching for 6 weeks. Up to guys who've been at it for 4, 5, 6 years, and a wide range of different things that we've been working on. So it's been good, and hopefully we can continue to do this and continue to grow the sport and continue to get more U.S. men's pitching talent in the pool. And don't try and change anything yet, just throw as natural as whatever you have been throwing, just throw natural, and then we'll work on things from there. But I want to see where you're at and what you're naturally doing. Here, I got one. All right. Okay. Let's So I think a couple of things that on the good side. A lot of guys, when I see them just right at the beginning, just learning how to throw, how to pitch. Oftentimes they'll be really square and they'll kind of throw more like this. You do a decent job of getting more into this closed position where that shoulder rotates into this position. I think that you need to stay there longer. It comes open quick, but I think that's probably maybe something we'll work on a little bit later. Right now, when I look at the very basics, in the men's game, you only have to have 1 foot on the rubber. Right now, you're like this. You're very, especially for your size, your feet are very close together, and you're not using your legs much at all. Everything is arm, and and with this game, if all you're throwing is arm, you're not going to be very successful. You're going to get injured more quickly. You're not going to have the same velocity and spins if it's all arms, and your ability to throw multiple games in a short period of time. All those things come from utilizing your legs. So what I would say, the biggest thing where I would start for you is let's just start by widening your stance a little bit, maybe even stepping back a little bit, and just trying to get a little more weight transfer at the beginning. So instead of being here, I think the width is okay. Just step back a little bit further, put the weight on the back leg, and then transfer to the front leg, and then just same motion you have been doing. We won't work on anything else other than just getting a little wider base, trying to leverage those legs at the beginning a little bit more. So get your upper. Okay, so just get into your set position. Move that foot back even a little bit further. So instead of it coming out this way, just straight back here. So maybe even a little bit more. There you go. Okay. Now start, weight over this front leg. Okay. And then sort of come back. So you start with all the weight on this back leg, tap this, and then you're going to weight on this. So just do that rocking motion. So weight back, tap this front foot. So there should be no weight on it at all. And then forward, tap the back foot, no weight on that at all. So just think of that motion, transfer the weight, right? Transfer the weight, and it's not only your legs, but your upper body a little bit. Lean back a little bit, shoulders forward, and just kind of get that rocking motion for a second. Like that? Yep, and I don't want you to pitch at all. I just want you to rock a little. So weight back, here, tap, forward, tap. So it's just this. It's upper body and legs, weight shifting. All right. So just keep your balance the whole time. All right. So try that. Keep facing your catcher when you do it. Okay. So weight on the front foot. This is as you're going to explode your pitch. That's where you want to get to. So you start back. Weight on this. Okay. Now move forward, bending your shoulder. Okay. Weight back, including your upper body. Okay, and then weight forward. So just that motion, I think, is going to be, without throwing a ball, you're just working and getting to a place where you get really comfortable, really stable. Weight back, weight forward, and it's that transfer of weight that we're looking for, and leveraging the legs at the beginning of your motion a little bit more. Okay. Sounds good. All right, now let's go. Get here and let's throw a pitch that way. So if you're square to your catcher, you don't want to be more than shoulder width apart with the width of your feet. So you can even bring them a little narrower. There are some guys that are in a straight line. I'm not a big fan. I like being shoulder width or a little bit less, and then sort of stepping back is, to a decently comfortable place. Yeah, I think that looks about right. Probably a good place for you to start. Over time, you can exaggerate it a little bit more, but that's probably a good place to start. So start with your weight back on this back leg, shoulders back a little bit. Now forward onto this leg. Okay, all right, now let's do that and now transfer it into a pitch. Yep, yeah, go ahead and pitch it. So start back, shoulders back. That's fine. Coming in, Hixie. We got another one. Yep, we got one here, Bradley. Okay, so when you get, just don't be in a hurry to go. Get set, make sure the shoulders back a little bit. Okay, make sure that there's no weight on that front foot or very little weight. Okay, now transfer to the front. Yep, transfer to the front with your shoulders bending at the waist a little, and then into a pitch. It's fine. We are not worried right now about where the ball goes or how fast the ball gets there. Right now, it's all about how do you get from sort of get those legs involved. And the first part is right here, is this transfer weight. Okay. Do you feel your legs getting a little more involved? Yeah, that's good. Let's do a few more like that.
My brain and bodies.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep, that's fine. And that's why we only want to isolate one small part of the motion to work on. So you're not trying to change 10 different things, it's just one small item. And I'll throw a couple more, and again, don't worry about velocity. Right now, it's all about weight back, weight forward. Weight back, weight forward, getting those legs involved. Okay, all right, let's take a breather for a second. So how's that feel? Really strange? Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, when you think about not only, so I'm telling you what you need to change. Again, I think it's important the why behind why you need to change it. If I was to say you start in a stationary position and just jump as far forward as you can. Well, no pitching. This is just I'm telling you to jump forward as far as you can. What would you do? Yeah, I mean, you'd bend your knees, you'd probably rock, you'd probably get your arms going, you get your upper body going, you try and generate momentum to jump forward as far as you can. If you were able to move your feet as well, you'd do something like this to try and generate as much momentum. So that's all we're trying to do here in a repeatable manner, is getting from a stationary position to generate power going forward. And with that, it's use your legs, bend your knees, use your upper body, transfer weight back and forth to generate momentum to go forward. And that's all you're trying to do here, is get from a stationary position and get all of your muscle parts, as opposed to just going forward and getting your arm to do all the work. It's now using your whole body to get that work going forward. So that, I think, is probably one of the first things that you probably want to work on, is just your starting position, transferring weight, and then coming around. Okay? All right, now we're gonna flush all that. That's something just tuck in the back of your memory to work on after. Throw a couple more pitches, and we'll just maybe pick another 1 or 2 items to give you to work on here. Just your normal motion. Yep, yeah. So we'll, with the legs, obviously that's something to work on. But I want you to just kind of go through your normal motion, and we'll try to pick out a couple other items for you to work on. Okay, so here's where you're landing. Mark it right here. And you're pushing off from right about here. Okay, so that's 2, 3. It's about 6.5 feet probably. A guy your size, if I was to compare you against other guys who pitch, I don't know if there's not too many of your size, but some of the bigger pitchers in the game, they would probably be finishing about here. All right, they're probably another 2 feet further than you. And the goal is not how far you can jump. That's not the goal at all. But the further you jump shows how much you get into with your legs. So we kind of talked about the first part of getting your legs into it. But from here, you've got to explode and get out further. That I'm not so convinced is the right thing to work on initially. I do think that from here, as you explode off the mountain, you want to get out a little bit further and drive with your legs more. But I think you've got to get sort of some of your basic mechanics in place, and then we can really work on exploding. But that's just to give you a little understanding with sort of the generating momentum at the beginning. The end goal is to get your legs into and explode off of the pitching rubber. And right now you're more of a step and throw. Right? It's almost nothing from your legs. Even if you look in, whether it's kind of the men's game where there's more of a leap and a hop to it, or in the women's game where it's more of a drag, they explode off of the rubber. You look at the best pitchers in either the men's or the women's, they use their legs and explode and get a far distance off of the rubber. So I think for you, that's something you're going to really want to work on, is using this to drive, as opposed to right now it's more of a here and step. It's got to be more of this motion, boom, where you're exploding off and getting further off. So I want you to try a couple pitches. You may throw them into the trees, which is fine, but I want you to just really explode with the legs. So as you're pitching, not just a step, but it's a really drive with that back leg and explode off. And we don't care if it goes 15 feet or in the woods, that's fine. That's not the object here. And if you want, actually just set the ball down and just kind of go through the motion of, just your normal motion, but instead of just the step, it's using that upper body and really driving out as far as you can. So right now, you're, it's really like try and go as far as you can. Okay, I think you can go further. Because even now it's still just a big step. I don't know if you play basketball or whatever, but sort of the more of a jumping jump out motion, up and out, as opposed to just stepping forward. Okay, you got out a little further there. Use your legs a little better. Okay, do you feel a big difference there? Okay, so again, it's not perfect. But it's a foundation to work on. But I think it's sometimes that mental block where if you're just used to stepping and throwing, to actually drive with the legs is a hard thing to start doing. So again, let's do another few pitches without the ball. Get into your starting position and maybe come over just a little further this way. All right, and then we can kind of see where some of the other landmarks are. You get set, transfer weight, and then drive out as far as you can. Perfect. That's probably a foot further than where you were when you first started. Let's do a couple more. Same thing. We don't care where the ball is going, so we don't need it. It's just all about getting that weight transfer. Good. Okay. Now even start with that back foot another 3-4 inches further back to get your legs in a little more. Thank you. Good, good. Okay, let's do that again. I know it feels weird to throw a ball without throwing a ball, but same thing. We're just trying to understand how to get those legs into it. Okay. All right, give me one more and then we'll actually get a ball involved. Good. All right. That's all right. Just take a breath, get set again, kind of decent width apart. Okay, that's fine. Again, drive as far as you can, getting that upper body going, and now explode off. All right, here, I got another one here. Okay, I got it. All right, let's just go 2 more pitches, and then I'll kind of probably give you enough to work on here for a little bit. All right, get set. I'm driving off with the legs. Okay. All right, probably a good place to take a little breather now. So we'll come back and we'll work on a couple other things. Probably what I'll have you do is just sort of do that dry on the side, trying to get a little bit of muscle memory, but it's that driving on the legs. Without a catcher, what I'm going to have you do, and it's in the men's game, I would say what 95% of the guys do is it's a bit of a replant. So same thing you were just doing, except instead of just sort of driving like that, you're going to start here, and with this back leg, you're going to go from point A to point B. So here, boom. So just do that kind of motion. You're here, and do that. So just try that for me. Okay, yep. And again, it's a little bit of up and a little bit of out, but it's here to that. So start, and then just replant that back foot. Good. So again, we're here, just like that. And that your weight should be all over that, or kind of straight on top of that back leg when you get to this position. What's that?
You re-step with this foot?
Nope. This foot stays here. Boom. So it's just stationary. So you think on the front of the rubber, it's here. Boom. And without finishing, just go to from here to there. That's all we're doing, is getting our arms to this position here. So here, yep. Yep. Yeah, I know. No, you're getting close. So here, boom. Just think of the letter K is where you want to get to. So line between your back legs up to your arm, like this, K position. So it's just from there, getting here. And again, we're not talking big leaps. It's just sort of coming and getting that leg repositioned underneath your body. There you go. And maybe that's even a better way to do it, is to just start real small. So you're only jumping out a foot. Boom. And then after you get to that, it's 2 feet. And then, okay. So that I think is what I find gives a lot more power out of your legs, is when you introduce a little more of the replant and the hop, which is, again, it's legal, it's common in the men's game. Women's game not as much. So if you're only used to watching, College World Series and stuff like that, you're not going to see it as much. But on the men's side, it's there, and it's how you generate a lot more power from your legs. So is that completely different than everything you've done to date? So with you, if I understand correctly, kind of your sisters played the game, your dad coached the game, and you just kind of were picking it up on the sideline, and.
Well, they needed someone to hit off of.
Okay, so you throw on BP and stuff? Yeah. Got it. Yeah?
I never liked pitch.
Yeah. Did you play baseball or anything growing up?
Yeah. I quit early.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, there's never a lot of guys, especially U.S. guys, most American pitchers didn't really start until teenage years or later. So it's not like you're throwing. So for myself, growing up in Canada, I started when I was 7 years old. Played Fastpitch. Never played a game of baseball in my life. Well, I lied. I played one game last year for the first time ever. But I never grew up playing baseball, so it was all Fastpitch. So learning how to pitch at 7 years old. So for a lot of guys like yourself, it's you're in your later teens or 20s, and you're now trying to figure out and learn how to pitch. So it is a different, and there's not there's not a lot of leagues available to be able to pitch in. So try and get you some training here anyway. But the legs is the big part, especially for someone your size, being able to really drive with your legs and getting more of your legs and your whole body into it, as opposed to just sort of a step and throw motion. So I would say maybe work on some of those things on the side. I'm going to spend some time with Cody now, work through a few things, and then we can spend some more time after as well.
Thank you.
You bet. No problem.
Thanks for watching, and we hope you found this video helpful. Now, it's up to you to get this video in the hands of as many new pitchers as possible, and breathe some new life into this game we all love.